It's hard to recall how Peru became the plan. We could claim pictures of high Andean mountains transfixed us. Unfinished business from mixed mountaineering days. Or imply Peru was the door to a continent we hadn't set foot on. But pinpointing a reason would imply a long-held dream. Really, it just seemed like a nice idea. And it was. Campsites in the company of mountains. Descents lasting hours. Breathtaking hiker bikes. Peru delivered. We first planned to ride the Peru Great Divide from bikepacking.com. But as we shared our route over dinner, a friend scanned the climbing and hiking guides on our bookshelf and pulled out a guide, a forgotten 8-year-old purchase from when we first started bikepacking. The guide was read and the plan was changed to spend the whole time riding in the Cordillera Blanca and Huayuash. Come and join Mick and I as we go bikepacking in Peru. We spent a few days in Huaraz building our bikes and adjusting to the altitude before starting the Huascaran Circuit. The climb to Punta Olímpica was our first pass, a slow effort as we adapted to the altitude. The 47-kilometre climb gained about 2,200 vertical metres.
Currently at about 4,360 metres. I'm going pretty slow, between 4 and 5k an hour. Danielle's doing pretty well. She's only just started losing her breath, but my resting heart rate's been overnight was above 90 beats per minute. Just got to make sure I take it slow, just not to raise the heart rate. Whew. Even talking to the camera makes me puffed.
We struggled through the tunnel, swallowing carbon monoxide from earlier trucks and straining through the low visibility. On the other side, we gulped in the view and the fresh air and sailed 30 kilometres into Chacas. Chacas was a delight, full of charm and good pizza. Leaving town the next morning, we hit the first gravel of the trip. Our reliable dinner of the trip was pasta, salami and cheese, topped with olive oil and harissa mix. Good fuel for the hills. Our routine formed. Pace, super chilled. Stopping, okay. Keep it quiet, keep it gentle. As we rode through Huascaran National Park, Chopacalqui and its ice field were shrouded in clouds as we climbed. Passing through the narrow rock notch of Porticello di Yanganco, we stopped, surrounded by peaks. We swore and gawked and put on all our clothes. Although Peru's highest mountains were shrouded in cloud, the switchback descent was glorious. We grinned as we dodged potholes, weaving down 28 hairpin turns over the first 8.5 kilometres. After staying in Yungay, we spent the day travelling towards Laguna Paron, a 32-kilometre ride with a mere 2,200 metre climb, averaging 6.5%.
You trying to play with the bikes?
Close to camp, we encountered a landslip, hauling bikes at weird angles. Suddenly, I was clinging to the top of the step with my left hand, dangling above a slide into rockfall with the bike on top of me. Mick had stopped filming just 10 seconds earlier and ran over. "You or the bike?" he asked. "The bike," I replied. The weight of the bike off me and a good mantle later, I wiggled onto firmer ground. We laughed a lot at the time, but it would have been messy. The return leg over the landslip offered a different challenge, a slick ice covering, making for a cautious traverse.
It's just sliding, the wheels are just sliding out.
We returned for a few days' rest in Huaraz to sleep, get clean and eat. As we left, we were gifted a jar of almond butter from our hotel owner. nut butter being our usual bike touring staple. We gratefully accepted the extra weight and put it on most meals. Most mornings were sharp and icy, but we warmed quickly in the alpine sun. Planning to ride the start of the Huayhuash Loop before turning off, we met Puya Raimondii, the world's largest bromeliad, endemic to the high Andes of Peru and Bolivia in scattered populations at around 4,000 metres. Each campsite topped the previous, always quiet, always a mountain view. We made another splendid descent, this time into Huayhuash. Leaving Huayhuash, we passed more eucalypts with the surreal smell and look of home, with various species planted throughout the Andes. By now, we felt good at altitude. 4,000 metres felt okay, similar to riding at sea level. Biscuits fueled the ride, the ever-present bikepacking staple. So currently we're day 2 into, sorry, I'm distracted by the bird. The Hilux photography route between Huayhuash and Ayun. The single track section involved quite a bit more hiker bike than expected. And I also managed to capture my pedal on a tussock and roll down a slope with my bike on top of me. So I'm quite sore. Got sort of, bit of a rough fall. So I'm finding the hiker bike quite difficult. I'm feeling the challenge of being a small person with a heavy bike. So we're just trying to work out what the best thing to do is. Feeling bruised and fatigued, we decided on a graceful retreat. The plan was to return to the road that climbed from Huayhuash and then make a new plan. We backtracked, stopped to collect water from a stream. As we filtered, a cow wandered over to watch us. Then another. Then another. Felt like they were trying to tell us something. By the evening, we felt weak. At first, we blamed the 4,400 metre altitude at camp, or the fatigue, or the cold.
How you feeling?
Cold. By the next morning, it took us 4 hours to cover 10 kilometres, moving for a few minutes, then stopping to rest.
So I've been riding for about an hour and 15 minutes. We had a day off yesterday because we were both pretty crook. I've already stopped to have a toilet stop twice in that time, so I don't think there's much chance I can make the next camp today. So I think we're going to turn around and have another rest day, so I've got a toilet to get intimate with.
Backtracking to Huayhuash, we were both hit with travel sickness and spent the next few days relaying for the bathroom, sleeping, and occasionally venturing out for water and cornflakes. A new plan was schemed, and we decided to complete the rest of the Huayhuash and Puya Raimondii route. Energy returned to our bodies as we gained altitude.
Hey! Hello, hello, hello! Hello!
Back on the trail, we camped for the only time near people. Hikers on the Cordillera Huayuash. The area isn't a national park, and local villagers have jurisdiction over certain sections, collecting a toll from passing travellers. You pay the warden, you get a receipt. We were definitely fed in Peru. In most towns, it was easy to find a meal, usually a soup, a main and a cup of tea. Plenty of chicken, plenty of chips. However, specific cravings had to wait. Huayhuash, on the other hand, had quite a selection. And that's where we were heading next. We scored a predictably stunning campsite on our last night by riding down a dirt track off the main highway. And then it was that time already. We set off for our last day riding in Peru. And that was that. We rolled downhill to Huayhuash towards the milkshakes, and our ride in Peru was finished.